There's been a break-in at the IRS. DOGE just kicked in the door and ordered executives to put their hands where they can see them. There was an ultimatum. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
DOGE workers arrived today. Gavin Klager and others arrived today at the IRS. Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it, but
ERS.
I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing. And you know that force is building. I call it the force of super geniuses, but it's building. And you know, they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk because these people get it. They're very smart people.
So talk about government efficiency in action. 24 hours ago, DOGE announced that they were entering the IRS, right? They were beginning their audit of the IRS as they've done for basically every other governmental agency. And 24 hours later, the IRS announces it is going to be mass laying off and firing thousands upon thousands of employees. Boy, this administration sure moves fast, which is a big reason I think the left, the Democrats, are struggling so much at the current moment, because they really cannot keep up. And you got to admit, they're probably in a really bad situation right now, because on one hand, their beloved agencies, including their beloved IRS, I don't know exactly why the Democrats think it is such good politics to go on the hill of defending the IRS, but nonetheless, the IRS is getting audited. But on top of that, the bigger picture, the underlying theme here as well, is the fact that their agenda, their push to try to interfere with DOGE, and particularly, you know, something they've been trying to do for a very long time, to divide Elon Musk from Trump, to try to create a rift with all of these talking points meant to get under Trump's skin, like shadow president and all this stuff, President Musk, right? That also is objectively not working. And we saw signs of that in a recent interview today. Take a listen.
That the media and the punditry class, not that, you know, I think you've proven they have no power anymore. Because they threw everything they had at you, and they didn't win. And that was, you know, the New York Times, Washington Post, 3 networks, every late night comedy show, 2 cable channels. They threw everything, lawfare, weaponization.
Sure.
And now I see they want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. No, they said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
Yep, that is absolutely right. The people do get it, and it is not working. But that has not stopped, of course, the Democrats and their arm in the media from continuing to try to just raise more issues, try to turn the public against Elon Musk, turn Trump against Elon Musk. And this new talking point you've been hearing a lot is the issue of conflicts of interest, right? Apparently, despite the fact that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, the only reason why he's involved in DOGE is to enrich himself. He's just trying to make himself more wealthy. This is all for him, which I think is not a very smart thing for our establishment politicians to be saying. Like, really, you want to talk about grifting? I don't know. Nonetheless, but this is a brand new argument you've been seeing from, for instance, MSNBC and Rachel Maddow, where they're arguing that Trump apparently is giving like favorable government contracts to Elon Musk, and that's why DOGE is so corrupt, and that's why they're so lacking in transparency. And their new talking point, as you can see, is this whole idea that Trump gave Elon Musk a $400 million contract to buy armored Teslas, right? This is the argument they keep on making. Elon Musk is only involved in the government because he wants more favorable government contracts. Well, fact check here, as it turns out, again, all they can do is lie, because that's not even true. Apparently, it was actually Joe Biden who gave Elon Musk that contract, which adds more to the irony here. Take a listen.
Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great, and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to him.
They just keep failing. They just keep getting owned over and over again. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please do us a big favor. Make sure that you hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. You subscribing is the best way to ensure that we can keep doing these videos. Now, the great irony there is not only are they just making that up, not only is that wrong, not only was that a contract that was offered to Elon Musk by the Biden outgoing administration, we have today the Trump administration has said that they have no intention to fulfill Biden's $400 million armored EV contract just hours after Rachel Maddow made a fool of herself on national TV. This is what was said. There are no current plans to issue the contract, the State Department said. It was launched under the Biden administration, which had sought to make more investments in electric vehicles. Trump has signaled a shift in the opposite direction, The Hill reported, which is obviously true, right? Trump has actually made a very big deal for a very long time, but even on the campaign trail, even as he was working with Elon Musk, he is not a fan of the electric vehicle push, particularly the mandated electrical vehicle push. He constantly actually ridiculed this whole idea of sending EVs out on the battlefield, which of course makes the whole talking point that, Elon Musk is, again, only working with Trump so he can get more favorable government contracts, in my opinion, to be such a ridiculous argument.
They want all electric army tanks now. Think of this. So they want to have an army tank that's electric. You can't get it recharged. It doesn't go far enough. It doesn't go strong enough. But they want to have electric. So that we go into enemy territory. We will blast the shit out of everybody, but at least we will go in with environmentally nice equipment. Now, do you believe it?
Because Elon Musk obviously runs what? Tesla, the #1 electric vehicle company in the world, and Donald Trump on day one got rid of the EV mandates. He is not fulfilling the EV contracts. All of the favoritism actually for Tesla was being implemented by who? The Biden administration. Trump is big on what? Gas, right? Drill, baby, drill. He wants oil cars, gas cars to return. He doesn't want to deal with this EV stuff. He especially doesn't want it mandated. That actually, as a matter of fact, just so people are aware, is bad for Elon Musk's business, which of course would probably beg the argument that, I don't know, maybe the reason why Elon Musk is involved to begin with is probably a lot deeper than just he wants better contracts for Tesla. I don't know, I'm just saying. But again, the reason they're doing all of this and the reason they're obviously in a panic is because what DOGE is actually doing is not just existing basically to give good contracts to Tesla for Elon Musk. No, it is exposing, right, the mass fraud and abuse and corruption that is currently going on in our government, and it is also getting rid of a lot of federal employees that frankly just do not need to be working there. And that gets us today to our main story of the IRS reportedly set as of Friday, February 14th to lay off thousands of workers. This reporting comes from investing.com. As you can see, the United States Internal Revenue Service is set to lay off thousands of employees next week, according to a late Friday report by Bloomberg. This decision could strain the tax agency's resources during the crucial tax filing period. And of course, in our video on this yesterday, we covered that, right? The Democrats know they can't just directly defend the IRS, even though the real reason they want the IRS to remain a massive workforce, the real reason they wanted to hire, right, 87,000 new IRS agents was because obviously they wanted more people to be able to harass and bully the normal working class American citizen. But of course, since since they can't just go out and say that publicly, this is the argument that you've been hearing, right? Which is, oh, you're not going to get your tax refund back. You know, we talked about yesterday the Democrat senator from Oregon who was arguing this. He was saying, like, you know, if your tax refund comes late this tax season, blame it on Trump trying to cut the IRS. It's like, no, that's not what this is about. Okay, let's be real. The IRS is going to be just fine. Okay, the primary reason why they need so many employees is so that they can do what? Audit people, harass people. That's exactly what is being cut here, okay? Not your ability to get a tax refund or like file your taxes correctly or something like that. But nonetheless, here are some more of those details. The command is to dismiss probationary employees who are relatively new to their roles and lack full civil service job protections. And that came from the Office of Personnel Management. Yesterday, we also did that video talking about how purportedly mass firings are set to begin because they're basically getting rid of anyone who was hired in 2022 or 2023 under this rule that you can actually get rid of civil servants that are probationary employees. So in other words, all of the new swamp creatures that Biden brought in are being gotten rid of. This office is responsible for overseeing federal hiring. The directive was issued last Thursday. Now, here we go. The exact number of IRS employees who will be dismissed, I should say, remains uncertain. The IRS currently employs approximately 100,000 new people. The source expressed that the concern that these cuts could hinder the agency's ability to manage the tax filing season effectively. Of course, they keep on saying that, right? We keep hearing this talking point. And yet I would point out, okay, when you get rid of probationary employees, again, the only people you are firing are people who were hired in the past 2 years. So you mean to tell me, as of 2021, the IRS was just a big mess? Like they were unable to handle the tax filing season, and all of a sudden, because Joe Biden hired those 87,000 new IRS agents, suddenly now, like, it's okay? Suddenly now everything's working fine? No, it's ridiculous. Again, we're getting rid of these people that the Biden administration brought on to audit and harass even more Americans. But according to Bloomberg, they are trying to reduce numbers across the board with no analysis to the impact it will have on operations. Well, oh no, the IRS is not going to be able to operate? What a sad, tragic event. How will we ever survive or function as a nation without the IRS harassing us and all over our backs? No, that's exactly what we want, as a matter of fact. And I think bigger picture here, you keep hearing this argument, right? That, hey, not all the federal workers are bad people. You know, some of them are actually needed, and I'm sure that's probably true. However, here's the situation we face. I want people to understand this before they try to have too much sympathy or back off of the things that DOGE is doing right now. Is look, we are $36 trillion in debt. Our government is fundamentally broken, and we have right now, in these next 4 years, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to fix the functioning of the federal government, to address the crisis, and who knows when that opportunity is going to come again. So I would say, like, yes, may it be the case that you kind of overcorrect, right? Maybe you get rid of some people you needed, or the federal government isn't able to function as well, whatever. Maybe that's true. But you know what? Like, to make the analogy here to chemotherapy, for instance, when you get rid of a tumor, you know, through chemotherapy, in the process, you do kill some healthy cells. They eventually come back, but the point is what? You have to get rid of the cancer. Same analogy I would make. I'm not saying federal employees are cancer, but same analogy I would make to this situation. You have a very fundamental systemic problem, both with the national debt as well as the subversion and rank and file just, rogue behavior that you're seeing within the federal government. No, it absolutely needs to be fixed. And, you can always bring back maybe fired federal employees that you decide you actually needed, but it is not an excuse to sit around and do nothing. I am so tired of hearing this talking point, right? Oh, you need to just not fix the federal government at all because maybe this one person you got rid of you actually needed. No, we need mass reform. The American people voted for mass reform. Again, this is our one opportunity to maybe be able to do that before we'll never get that chance again. It needs to happen. It needs to happen in mass. And honestly, my sympathy is not so much there. Okay, I don't care. Yeah, we do need to mass fire a lot of federal employees. And if we overcorrect, that is better than not correcting at all. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, guys, it is also worth noting that the Democrat freakout continues here. And as of today, we also have New York Attorney General Letitia James of course, in response to Elon Musk having access to things like the U.S. Treasury and the IRS to obviously audit them, she is now suing Elon Musk and DOGE for apparently, quote unquote, accessing the American people's private data. This is a talking point we've heard over and over again, but here's her talking about how instead of actually going after the criminals that are running all over New York, she's going to be spending her energy as the Attorney General of New York suing Elon Musk and the federal government. Take a listen.
It's important that individuals understand that we cannot allow private citizens to have access to this private information. And pausing funds for the purposes of individuals bowing to the knee of the President of the United States, basically being subjected to ideological litmus tests. Individuals who do not follow his prescriptions, his policy prescriptions. This is a democracy, a representative democracy. And it's important that individuals understand that there are co-equal branches of law that need to be respected, and that states, again, have a unique responsibility to ensure that the Constitution is followed, the constitutional order of things here in this great country. And so that's why we are standing up. We're defending the Constitution. We took an oath to the Constitution, not to a man, but to the Constitution.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly enjoying the moral lecture on our Constitution and our democracy and not being ideologically captured in our institutions from Letitia James, the very person who tried to do the lawfare against Trump, right? The very person who tried to throw Trump in jail out of fear that he was going to beat her party in an election. But, keep standing on your soapbox, I suppose. Now, nonetheless, it's also important to note here that despite all of this fear-mongering and panic about Elon Musk accessing the private data of Americans as if the government bureaucrats are somehow more trustworthy than Elon Musk, it's worth noting here that, first of all, Elon Musk builds our rockets, okay? He literally does have top secret security clearance, and that was also extended to him by Joe Biden. So this whole new idea that, like, oh, Elon Musk is somehow unqualified to maybe see sensitive information, it's ridiculous. It's insane. And in fact, he has far less incentive to be stealing that information than even your average government bureaucrat. And it's also worth noting that under the Biden administration, not a lot of people remember this, but shout out to Robbie Starbuck for bringing it up. Are we forgetting the fact that there was already a massive data breach in the Social Security system? Okay. So you want to talk so much about privacy, like there already have been privacy concerns that need to be addressed. But obviously Democrats don't really care about this. It's only a problem when Elon Musk is the one potentially being able to see that stuff, although he's not even there in the Treasury to be looking at people's Social Security numbers. He's literally there so that way he can order the categorization and the organization of payments. But nonetheless, okay, we're of course hearing all of this virtue signaling about the security of Social Security and Medicare. Of course, while the agency that they oppose has already exposed, as we speak, massive fraud in the system of Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. Take a listen and just keep in mind, Democrats keep telling us they're the party that is fighting so hard to protect the data of Americans and especially Social Security. Of course they are, but yet they're opposed to this. Very interesting.
To DOGE just for a second. Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marjorie Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some of this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us. Unfortunately, I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day.
Yeah. So the party apparently so concerned about protecting American Social Security and Medicare, a system that they talk about, and it's true, is like running out of money as we currently speak. But they apparently think it's such a big problem that Elon Musk is exposing mass fraud going on in the Social Security and Medicare system. That is literally Americans. Again, keep in mind, like, Social Security is struggling to pay for itself in the year 2025. It's heading towards bankruptcy. Okay, it's a massive problem, obviously. And as we speak, the Democrats, who claim that it's the Republicans who want to take everyone's Social Security, they're so apprehensive, they're so opposed to the fact that we are exposing massive fraud in the Social Security system. Again, money that could be sent and help pay for the Social Security for people who actually deserve it, going to the fraud. It is so ridiculous. It is so performative. But, the overall point now is what? DOGE is working. It is working very effectively. That's why the Democrats are so mad, okay? Because here's the thing. If you really were working so transparently, if our government was working so well and there's no corruption, what would the Democrats have to be so afraid of, right? Why are they so opposed to DOGE investigating things? Well, again, if they had nothing to hide, maybe they would say it's a waste of time, but they would not be dedicating, let me just say, so much of their energy, so much of their political capital to try to stop these things from occurring. But that's, of course, why, because they're trying to hide certain things they do not want the American people to see. And that is being exposed. And of course, a big, I think, reward to Americans as we approach tax season. The IRS is about to be a lot smaller. So, everything is just going fantastically in America, off to a great start. With that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.